job for our first, mass rally, given that we've started this campaign only 3 months ago, December 10th, International Human Rights Day. I think this is a great turnout, and I think we should be very proud of ourselves for coming here and standing together to say, look, we want equal rights for everybody. We want citizenship rights and universal rights for everyone. And we're not going to take anything less. We're not going to take anything less because people before us have done exactly the same thing, which is why many of us have rights that we take for granted today. But we can't take things for granted anymore because the religious movement, whether it's the Christian right or the political Islamic movement, is on the rise. It's on the rise, and it's not a theoretical argument because they are, making the lives of millions of women and men and children miserable, whether it's in Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan or Saudi Arabia, or whether it's right here in Britain. And so we have a lot to do. A lot of people call saying they want to come, but they're scared, they're intimidated. And we've got to tell them, don't be intimidated, don't be scared, because the bigger we are, the stronger we are, and the more of a stand we can make against this movement. And we have to make a stand because it will roll over all of us, each and every one of us, whether you are, part of their so-called community or not, because they're doing that to so many people who they say are part of their community and they're not. They're human beings with rights, and we're saying that we are going to defend everybody. And also, there are a lot of people who say it's racism, it's Islamophobic to oppose Sharia law, to oppose the political Islamic movement, and we're saying, look, it's racist not to. It's racist to demand separate standards and norms for different people just because you say they've got a different belief system, or just because they've been born in another country, or because, generations ago their parents and their grandparents were born in another country. And we're saying that it's actually racism not to oppose Sharia courts and religious-based tribunals. And anyway, racism is against people, not against beliefs and political movements. And the thing is that we need to talk, we need to tell people that it's not racist, and we will stand against any racists. We just kicked a couple of racists out of this demonstration, and they complained about the fact that, well, you're saying people have to unite. We're saying this is a non-racist movement, and we'll stand up to the racists that are anti-immigrant, that are trying to do Muslim bashing, that are trying to divide and segregate, whether it's this society or the world. And we stand together because we are a majority. Don't forget that. And even if we are 500, 600 today, the police say about 100, I don't think so. We're going to be thousands in a few months, and we are going to be 10,000s. I will guarantee you that today. But we can't do it without you. Sign our petition, tell people about us. We are willing to come across the country to talk to people in their neighborhoods, in their workplaces, in their schools. We've been invited to a couple of schools already, and for speaking tours everywhere. We're going to Canada because there is a success in Canada where they fought against Sharia and religious-based tribunals. And you know what the Ontario province said? We're not going to accept any of them. One secular law for everybody in the Ontario province. And you know what, British government? That's what we're going to fight for, and that's what we're going to get today. And you know what, political Islamists, watch out, because the movement that is bringing you to its knees in Iran is going to bring you to its knees right here in Britain. Thank you.
I decided to introduce to you my niece, Parisa. She got married 10 years ago in Iran, and she lived in Birmingham. She came to England about 9 years ago. It's been 4 years that she's been trying to get away from this chauvinist Islamist husband, extremely reactionary, and last year she managed to get away from her husband. She actually escaped, and I helped her escape from her husband. 4 years. 4 years she tried, and she was sent to a mosque, and a reactionary mullah told her, go back and try to live with your husband. It's best not to get divorced.
Hello, just I want to say please help and support to stop the Sharia law in this country, because not only 4 years of my life, actually 10 years of my life is gone because of that culture and that law in other countries. I want to stop it, and I'm here just ask you, please help the people to stop this court, because it's not fair. Many, many Muslims are living like that, not only me, and I've been brave, and I had a good uncle to help me to escape from that life. But what about the other people? They don't have this chance to run away from their life, and I saw that many, many people in that college I was studying, they've been forced to marry to somebody and stay with that person for whole life, because they've been told they must to respect their parents. They grow up here, but they must to respect their parents. They must to go and accept the arranged marriage, and they must to stay in this country with the man who they don't love it. And now with Sharia code, just you make this horrible belief stronger and stronger, and you make the woman like me in more terrible, and they must be suffering for all their life. There is a chance for us if we are here, run away from that culture and run away from that law. But you are going to bring that law here again for us? No, please help and support this community to stop this court for many, many, many women like me, and they are worse than me even. Please help and support, and thank you for being here and listening to me.
Thank you, Parisa.
Happy International Women's Day to all of you. I just want you for one moment, imagine that you wake up in the morning and you hear the morning news saying that the parliament has passed a law saying women needs the permission of the husband to travel, to study, and to work, and even to step outside of the house. You as a woman, basically you have no right to divorce your husband, and your husband is allowed to insult you and beat you up if you don't obey him. How would you feel about it? It's horrifying, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Even thinking about such a situation for one moment is unbearable, let alone living with that situation. The harsh reality is that this is the situation of millions of women in the countries like Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and so many Islamic-stricken countries. But the thing is, nowadays, this picture, this image, this situation, it's not only happening in those countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. It's coming near to us. When you walk on the streets of London, how many times you've seen little girls as young as 4 years old wearing hijab? How many times you have seen women covered from head to toe? Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why are they wearing hijab? Don't tell me that they chose to wear hijab because the 4 years old doesn't know what hijab is, doesn't ask the parent to cover her up. She's like other kids that are playing in the school, walking on the street. These women and these children, these young girls, they live in the same city. They walk on the same street as you do. They walk beside you, but they are isolated in a mobile prison called hijab. They are deprived from their basic law, basic human rights, even though they live here. Those who wants to legitimize hijab, they say hijab is just a dress, nothing else. This is nonsense. Hijab is not just a dress. Hijab is a symbol of humiliation of women. Hijab is a cruel way of controlling women and suppressing women. And hijab is just one example of the way Sharia law treats women.